for habits that are stealing years from your life. And staying up late isn't even in the top two. A recent study shocked researchers when they discovered something alarming. The habits that are silently shortening seniors' lives aren't what most people think. And the number one culprit? You're probably doing it right now without even realizing it. Here's what makes this discovery so important. Reversing these habits could add up to 12 years to your life expectancy. 12 additional years to spend with the people you love. 12 years to do the things you've always wanted to do. What makes this even more concerning is that 3 of these 4 habits are considered completely normal by most people over 60. When doctors at Johns Hopkins tested seniors who complained of memory loss and fatigue, they found that 89% were engaging in at least 3 of these 4 habits every single day. But here's the good news. Every single one of these habits is reversible. The changes can show results in as little as 2 weeks. But you need to know which habit to tackle first, because doing them in the wrong order can actually make things worse. In the next 18 minutes, I'm going to reveal the 4 habits that medical experts now confirm are shortening seniors' lives, ranked from least to most dangerous. You'll discover why the number 1 habit is so deadly that doctors call it the silent ager. Stick around because the number 1 habit will surprise you. And I'll give you an action plan at the end that's already helped thousands reverse these patterns. Drop a comment right now with your age. If you're over 60, your daily habits matter more now than ever before, while most seniors focus on diet and exercise. Research from the National Institute on Aging has identified 4 specific behaviors that have a more dramatic impact on longevity. What's shocking is that these habits seem harmless. They're things you do every day without thinking twice. My own mother was doing 3 out of 4 of these habits daily until her doctor showed her the brain scans. Within 6 months, her biological age tests showed she had reversed 7 years of aging now. Let's talk about habit number 4. Coming in at number 4 is something most seniors do for 8 to 12 hours every day. Cardiologists have called it the new smoking. It's prolonged sitting, even if you walk every morning or hit the gym 3 times a week. Sitting for more than 6 consecutive hours daily increases your mortality risk by 19%. You can't outrun a sedentary lifestyle with a 30-minute workout. When you sit, your circulation slows dramatically. Your leg muscles, which pump blood back to your vital organs, essentially shut down. Blood pools in your lower extremities, forcing your heart to work harder. Over time, this leads to metabolic syndrome, including high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol. But the damage goes deeper. Your body stops producing lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme that breaks down fats. Your insulin sensitivity drops, your bones weaken, your brain starts to atrophy. A 2018 MRI study found that adults who sat for long periods had thinner medial temporal lobes, the brain region critical for memory. Sitting isn't just bad for your body, it's shrinking your brain. Barbara, a 60-year-old retired teacher, loved reading and watching British dramas. During a checkup, her doctor noticed her leg strength had declined 40% in 2 years. Her blood pressure was rising despite medication. The culprit? She was sitting 11 hours daily. The Mayo Clinic tracked 8,000 adults over 64 for years. Even those who exercised regularly couldn't fully offset the damage from prolonged sitting. The solution is the 50-10 rule. For every 50 minutes of sitting, stand and move for 10 minutes. Walk to the kitchen. Do gentle stretches. March in place. The key is getting your blood flowing. Barbara started doing commercial break exercises. Every commercial, she stood and moved. Within 3 months, her leg strength improved 25%. Her blood pressure normalized. Every time you stand up, you're adding minutes back to your life. Now, let's talk about habit number 3. You've heard that sleep is important. But new research shows that seniors who consistently go to bed after midnight age 50% faster at the cellular level. Staying up late ranks 3rd because it disrupts your circadian rhythm, which becomes fragile after 60. Your body has an internal clock controlled by the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This clock regulates hormone production, body temperature, and cellular repair. When you stay up late, especially past midnight, you're telling your body it's still daytime when it should be in deep repair mode. For seniors, this is catastrophic because your brain has a cleaning system called the glymphatic system that only activates during deep sleep. This system flushes out toxic proteins, including beta amyloid, the same protein that accumulates in Alzheimer's disease. When you don't get quality sleep at regular hours, these toxins accumulate. Seniors sleeping less than 6 hours nightly have a 30% higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. But it gets worse. Late sleep affects your hunger hormones. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, less leptin, the hormone that signals fullness. This is why you crave sugary, calorie foods after a bad night's sleep. Let me tell you about John, a 72-year-old veteran who thought his late-night routine of watching cable news until 2 in the morning was harmless. He'd sleep until 10, so technically he was getting 8 hours. But his wife noticed his memory was failing. He'd forget conversations from earlier that day. He'd lose his keys constantly. His doctor ordered cognitive tests, and the results were concerning. But before prescribing medication, they did a sleep study. John's deep sleep cycles were almost non-existent. Sleep quality score was equivalent to someone who only slept for hours. The doctor explained that it wasn't just about hours. It was about timing and quality. When you go to bed after midnight, you miss the crucial 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. window when your body produces the most growth hormone and melatonin. These hormones are essential for cellular repair, immune function, and memory consolidation. John committed to a new routine. Within 3 months of going to bed by 10:30, his cognitive tests improved dramatically. His wife said it was like getting her husband back. If you're staying up late, here's what you need to do. Start shifting your bedtime earlier, by 15 minutes every 3 days. Your body needs time to adjust. Create a wind-down routine starting 90 minutes before bed. Dim the lights. Turn off screens. Do something calming like reading or gentle stretching. Avoid caffeine after 2 in the afternoon. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. The research shows that seniors who maintain consistent sleep schedules, going to bed and waking at the same time every day, have better cognitive function, stronger immune systems, and live longer than those with irregular patterns. Now, let's talk about habit number 2. This one is going to surprise most of you because it's something we're told is just a normal part of aging. Social isolation. And it's killing seniors faster than almost anything else. A landmark study from Brigham Young University analyzed data from over 300,000 people and found that loneliness and social isolation increase mortality risk by 26%. To put that in perspective, that's comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Here's why this is so devastating for seniors. When you're socially isolated, your body goes into a chronic stress state. Your cortisol levels stay elevated. This constant stress suppresses your immune system, increases inflammation throughout your body, and accelerates cognitive decline. But it goes deeper than stress. Social connection literally affects your biology. When you engage with others, your brain releases oxytocin, a hormone that reduces blood pressure, lowers stress, and promotes healing. Regular social interaction keeps your mind sharp because conversation requires cognitive processing. You have to listen, interpret, respond, and remember. It's a workout for your brain. Isolation also affects your behavior in ways you might not realize. When you're alone, you're less likely to maintain healthy routines. You skip meals or eat poorly because cooking for one feels pointless. You don't shower or dress as often because no one will see you. You stop going out, which means less physical activity. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 76-year-old widow whose story illustrates this perfectly. After her husband passed, she gradually withdrew. She stopped attending church. She declined lunch invitations. She told herself she was fine, that she enjoyed the quiet, but her daughter noticed changes. Dorothy was forgetting things. She seemed confused at times. Her hygiene had declined. When they took her to the doctor, he ran extensive tests. Everything came back normal physically, but when he asked about her social life, she broke down crying. She admitted she felt invisible, like the world had moved on without her. The doctor explained that what looked like early dementia was actually the cognitive effects of isolation. He prescribed something unusual: social engagement. He told her to commit to at least 3 social interactions per week. Dorothy joined a book club at the library. She started volunteering at a local food bank. She reconnected with old friends. Within 2 months, the confusion lifted. Her memory improved. She felt like herself again. Here's what you need to understand. Your brain needs social stimulation the same way your body needs food and water. It's not optional. It's essential for survival. If you're isolated, here's what to do. Start small. Call one person this week just to chat. Accept the next invitation you receive, even if you don't feel like going. Join one group, any group, class, a club, a volunteer organization. Online connections count too, but face-to-face interaction has the strongest benefits. The key is consistency. Regular social engagement, even if it's brief, is more powerful than occasional long visits. Now, we're ready for habit number 1. The most dangerous habit, the one that makes everything else worse. Chronic dehydration. And before you dismiss this as too simple, let me share what the research shows. A 20-year study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association followed over 15,000 adults and found that those with inadequate hydration had a 21% increased risk of dying early. Another study found that chronically dehydrated seniors were 64% more likely to develop chronic diseases and died earlier over 5 years compared to those drinking adequate amounts. Think about that. Something as simple as water intake predicts whether you'll be alive 5 years from now. But doctors miss this constantly because dehydration symptoms in seniors mimic everything else: fatigue, confusion, dizziness, constipation, headaches, muscle weakness. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 74-year-old grandmother whose story perfectly illustrates why this ranks number 1. Her family noticed she was becoming increasingly confused. She'd forget where she was. She couldn't follow conversations. Her hands trembled. They took her to a neurologist who ran extensive tests. The diagnosis came back as early-stage dementia. They were about to start her on medication when her daughter, a nurse, insisted on one more test: comprehensive hydration panel. The results shocked everyone. Margaret was severely dehydrated. Her electrolytes were dangerously imbalanced. Her kidney function was compromised. The doctor realized that what looked like dementia was actually chronic dehydration affecting her brain. Within 2 weeks of proper hydration protocols, Margaret's confusion cleared. Her memory improved. Her trembling stopped. The dementia vanished. The doctor called it a miracle, but it was just water. Here's why dehydration is so dangerous, and why it ranks above everything else. Your blood volume decreases when you're dehydrated, forcing your heart to pump harder to circulate oxygen and nutrients. This increases blood pressure and strain on your cardiovascular system. Your kidneys struggle to filter waste products, allowing toxins to accumulate. Your digestive system slows, causing constipation, which is epidemic among seniors. Your joints lose lubrication, increasing pain and stiffness. Your skin loses elasticity and its ability to regulate temperature, making you vulnerable to heat stroke. But most critically, your brain shrinks slightly when dehydrated, literally pulling away from your skull, causing headaches, confusion, and cognitive decline. Dehydration creates a cascade effect that makes every other habit worse. When you're dehydrated, you're more tired, so you sit more. Sitting combined with dehydration thickens your blood, increasing clot risk. Dehydration disrupts sleep because your body struggles with temperature regulation and waste removal. Poor sleep combined with dehydration devastates cognitive function. And when you're tired and confused, you isolate yourself socially, creating the perfect storm. The reason most doctors don't catch this is because standard tests often miss it. The traditional skin pinch test doesn't work on seniors because you naturally lose skin elasticity. Blood tests might show normal ranges even when you're chronically underhydrated. You need to know how to test yourself. Check your urine color. It should be pale yellow, like lemonade. If it's dark yellow or amber, you're dehydrated. Monitor for afternoon fatigue that lifts after drinking water. Notice if you have persistent headaches, constipation lasting more than 2 days, or confusion that comes and goes. These are red flags. Here's the formula for how much water you actually need. Take your body weight in pounds and divide by 2. That's the minimum ounces of water you need daily. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you need 75 ounces, which is about 9 cups. Adjust upward if you're in a hot climate, taking medications like diuretics or physically active. The solution requires strategic timing because drinking 8 cups all at once doesn't work. Your body can only absorb so much at a time. Start your day with 16 ounces of water immediately upon waking to rehydrate from overnight. Drink a cup before each meal. This aids digestion and prevents overeating. Have a glass mid-morning and mid-afternoon. If you dislike plain water, infuse it with cucumber, lemon, or berries. Eat hydrating foods like watermelon, cucumbers, celery, and broths. Set phone reminders every 2 hours. Keep a water bottle visible at all times as a visual cue. The transformation timeline is remarkable. Within 3 days of proper hydration, most seniors report clearer thinking and more energy. Within a week, sleep improves, constipation resolves, and joint pain decreases. Within a month, blood pressure often normalizes, skin looks better, and cognitive function measurably improves. This is why chronic dehydration ranks as the #1 habit stealing longevity. It's completely preventable, incredibly common, profoundly damaging, and shockingly simple to fix. Start here, and everything else becomes easier. Now, here's what makes these 4 habits so dangerous together. They create a self-reinforcing downward spiral that accelerates aging exponentially. Dehydration makes you fatigued, so you sit more because you lack energy to move. Prolonged sitting disrupts circulation and compounds the cardiovascular strain that dehydration already creates, thickening your blood and increasing clot risk. This combination devastates your sleep quality because poor circulation prevents your body from cooling down properly at night, and dehydration disrupts the hormone production that regulates sleep cycles. When you're not sleeping well, your cognitive function declines, making you more likely to forget to drink water and creating even more confusion. Sleep deprivation also increases. Social withdrawal because you lack the emotional and physical energy to engage with others. You cancel plans. You stop answering calls. You retreat into isolation. Social isolation then triggers chronic stress and depression, which further disrupts sleep patterns and makes you care less about basic self-care like hydration and movement. It becomes a vicious cycle where each habit feeds into and worsens the others. But here's the beautiful part. The cycle works in reverse too. Fix one habit, and it becomes exponentially easier to fix the others. This is why I recommend starting with hydration. When you're properly hydrated, you have more energy to move around. Your brain functions better, so you remember to take movement breaks. Better circulation from both hydration and movement improves sleep quality dramatically. When you sleep well, you wake up with emotional resilience and social energy. You're more likely to reach out to friends, accept invitations, and engage meaningfully. Better social connections give you accountability and motivation to maintain healthy habits. The interconnection explains why some seniors seem to age overnight while others thrive well into their 90s. It's not genetics alone. It's the compounding effect of daily habits. For better or worse, the good news is, you don't have to fix everything at once. Start with water tomorrow morning. Let that one change create momentum for the others. Look, I know changing habits after 60 feels harder than it should. You've lived your whole life a certain way, and there's comfort in routine. But here's what I want you to remember. Every single day you make these changes, you're adding quality time to your life. Time to see grandchildren grow up. Time to pursue passions you've put off. Time to create memories that matter. You don't have to be perfect. Start with one habit. Just one. I recommend starting with water because it has the fastest results and makes everything else easier. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, drink 16 ounces of water. That's day 1. Your longevity isn't determined by your genetics or your past. It's determined by your daily choices, starting right now. If this video opened your eyes to habits you didn't realize were stealing your time, hit that like button so more seniors can see this information. Share it with someone you love who needs to hear this. Just drop a comment telling me which habit you're going to tackle first. I read every single comment, and your commitment inspires others. Remember, these 4 habits, sitting too much, staying up late, social isolation, and chronic dehydration, are reversible. You have the power to add years to your life starting today. The question is, will you take that first step?